Alright, but let's talk about this, homies. You know, we're gonna have yet another significance slash importance talk for another like fighting game. Another fighting game. We usually do these for games like like Marvel, things like that. I think that was like the most popular one because it was not only like a discussion but also like a reaction, which still does like really well. So I wanted to like change like subjects and talk about Tekken, right? And yeah, specifically Tekken World Tour, right? This is like this year's biggest like exclusive Tekken exclusive only event, right? In Tekken history, and this is like the first World Tour to ever feature their new game, which is, you know, Tekken 8. Hella a lot of fun. I watched like a bit of it. I watched a bit of it at I think it was like the first day. And then I watched it on stream on like the second day with like the second like group and stuff like that. It was a really fun tournament all around. There were just like a lot of killers from all these like different parts of like the world. More specifically, you know, with Tekken, there's always the three main Titan countries that come from there is Japan, obviously, that's their like home bread and butter. There's also South Korea, where all of like the top players like historically have always been super good. Like even back then, like Tekken 7 was like JDCR, I think like Anakin, but Anakin is like American, but still is Korean. I'm assuming. I don't want to be, you know, inaccurate, but there's also Knee is also really also a really good South Korean Tekken player, right? CBM, Mayo Il, and then we have the Pakistani force. Dudes like that's like my favorite Tekken country representation with like, you know, more famously Arslan Ash, two-time like Evo winning like champ. He won Tekken World Tour in 1 year, you know, things like that. He's just like the mascot for the Tekken Pakistani community. Right? I love every time like a Pakistani like shows up. And we had like this conversation before, you know? Pakistani is always like gonna be like my favorite country to like, you know, rep, especially for Tekken. Then we saw other like countries being represented. Of course, there's America. We got like no representative Shadow 20Z that plays Claudio and shit like that. And then there was Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia had like the Sam brother. Really good like Shaheen. So all in all, it's like a really good tournament, right? A lot of like exciting matches from like across the board, you know? It was really goddamn spicy and fun. And this is, of course, you know, the first year of like Tekken 8 competition, right? Of course, there was like Evo and things like that, right? But those are like, you know, multi-platform. That's a multi-platform fighting game tournament where a lot of fighting games, not just like Tekken. This is like Tekken specific, Tekken centric, right? It's very similar to like Capcom Cup. Capcom Cup is like the mainstay tournament for everything Street Fighter related. Vice versa, Tekken is like the same way, the same wave. So yeah, it was a really fun tournament all around, you know? It was just nothing but hype and like non-stop action. As far as like meta concerned is, as far as like the statistical data for character usage is concerned, yeah, there's like, you know, Jin, there's a few like kings in there, there was Shaheen's is really good, things like that. But one warrior, or what was it? One warrior rose to the top, and from South Korea of all, as historically from all places, it was Rangchu. Rangchu's fucking bear. Ultimately so, and this is like a few days few days after the tournament, Rangchu won Tekken World Tour?
Bruh.
Like, it's real, like, dude, a bear, once again, a bear won Tekken World Tour. That's insane to us, bro. And all like the memes of like rose up after like Kuma's like, what was it? Triumphant moment of victory. Alright, the bear's gonna get nerfed now. Harada's gonna nerf the bear or some shit like that. I wanted to have like a little bit of like importance discussion on just like the whole Tekken World Tour in general, and also on the fact that like Rangchu won with a very like obscure character. Let's talk about like Rangchu and Kuma, right? This isn't the first time that Rangchu has been known for this. He actually won before, but it was with a different bear, and it was Panda. This is all the way back. I'll show you some like archival footage. This is all the way back in TWT 2018 Grand Finals. Like a matchup as old as time. Oh my god, look at Tekken 7, bro. Damn, look at this like ancient fucking game. Holy shit, bro. Oh man. Yeah, but this is actually not the first time we saw like a bear one. It may be the first for Tekken 8 only fans, but fans of Tekken will remember that a bear winning like Tekken World Tour has actually happened before, and it was 2018, right? This is where we got the infamous Panda versus Devil Jin matchup. Rangchu won the whole thing, and it was against like Kudans, who was a very good like Devil Jin player, you know? Rangchu wasn't losers, he just like kept at it, he kept going with like the pressure of the bear. And this is where we get the, what was it? Infamous line. The infamous line for Harada. Panda! Really? A panda winning like Tekken World Tour. And yeah, as Kore Gaming would say, Panda, and likewise for the other bear of Tekken, Kuma, are relegated to like low tier characters, right? This is just like a furry fucking animal. I mean, lore wise, both are respective pets to their respective owners, Heihachi and Xiaoyu respectively. But just the fact that like this comical ass bear beating the shit out of like, you know, a serious as fuck man named Dragunov that does like like that speaks like a lot of like volumes. Bears they don't really have a lot of like, you know, the options that a lot of like super top tier characters like Dragunov again would have, right? A bear matchup is totally like against them. They cannot win against like characters like Dragunov, like Nina, like Shaheen, like Haore, that just have really good like options to cover all of their like bases. Tekken bears do have methods to, you know, circumvent that. They have their own strings and they have their own properties, but bears are usually not the highest tier characters for Tekken players. Most of the time you would see only like whatever is like circulating around like social media that's like, oh, this character's broken, oh, this character's popular. No, not a bear. Bear is just relegated down to like meme joke humor. That's all they're like really for. The only like benefits that a bear really like has, you know, in their kit is that they have a weird unorthodox hitbox, right? Like doing like juggles. This is like not just in like Tekken, but like in other fighting games where they have like the unorthodox hitbox. They don't like hit or react properly. They don't react properly on hit. Sorry, yeah, that's better. They don't react properly on hit like most other characters do in fighting games. A known example outside of Tekken would be like Shumagorath, right? He's just like an octopus. How the fuck can you register like how the fuck can you like combo off of like an octopus? There will be ways where like the octopus or even like a bear will be juggled out of combos because of their weird body parameters. That's one of them, right? Weird body characters, so not a lot of combos will work against a bear. And for back to like Tekken specifically, bears have like really good like traits that make them far apart from other characters in the roster. They have like really good jabs, they have good strings, they're very like wacky, they have insane chip damage, especially for like Kuma. Like, look at this shit, like as an example, right? Right, he's blocking, Bear did like the fucking like charge move. Look how much like chip damage that created against like Atif's Dragunov, you know? So bears have a lot of potential. It's just that they're mitigated by like the low tier since they don't have a lot of the tools that make them work like other characters do. However, right, Rangchu, back to like Rangchu's like a character like specialist, right? Or a bear specialist. He pretty much like sticks to like the lowest of tiers character because probably like pride or something, or like have fun with like, you know, a wacky character going up against these like titans. The implications of it is that you don't have to play like the meta as fuck character as like Dragunov or Nina or characters like that. No, if you practice hard enough and you understand your character and understand like the game, then even with like a low tier character, you can start like taking names for yourself and actually become worldwide famous in the game's like competitive scene. Hence why like Rangchu won in like 2018, it put Tekken 7 on the map, right? Tekken, you know, is a good selling game, right? It's a great selling game. There are like even more numbers comparatively in Tekken 8 than to like Tekken 7. But Tekken 7 rose up in popularity after like legacy support and people just going back to playing it. This was like before Tekken 8, and of course Tekken 8 is really popular like too, but Tekken 8 sold extremely well in like in the first month, and even by like, you know, the first year. We're almost going to be hitting 1 year anniversary of Tekken. That's going to be like in January. So a lot of like players, not just like Tekken heads, but also newcomers to the craft, really love Tekken. In that sense, a bear winning Tekken is that, you know, you're a new player, you're trying out like characters, you go for like, you know, the cute waifu characters, you go for like, you know, the main protagonist characters, and that's like your fit, right? You would go for like a bear out of like, you know, a joke, right? But in the back of your mind, someone out there is like, you know, a bear or a panda main, Kuma or a panda main is like, man, I can't work with this character. He's so low tier, he doesn't do anything, you know, really like crazy. How am I gonna make this work? Dude, look at Rangchu, right? It shows that like, yeah, you, even for like a low tier, you can go up against titans. This is not just in like in Tekken also as well. We've seen this in Street Fighter 6. Who would have thought like Blanca would win like a Street Fighter like tournament, you know? I mean, of course, not like an Evo, but there's like, you know, CEO that Mena RD won with as Blanca. But dude, shit is insane that like you can win with like, you know, an unrecognizable character and just like take names. That not only, you know, sets the bar for like Tekken, that it's not just like the titans, it's not whatever's like meta, but dude, you could play like whatever, and if you practice hard enough, if you laugh hard enough, dude, you could like defy like meta, and like you could actually consider like a bear being like, you know, a potential meta candidate. Still low tier, but yeah. And yeah, that's like Rangchu and Kuma's side. Now for the other side is like, yeah, like the whole tournament, and more specifically on like, you know, the Pakistani community, right? Like there was a lot of Pakistani Middle Eastern representation with Arslan, Atif, the John who was playing King, the one like Pakistani king that made it to like top 8, and there was like Isam brother with Shaheen. yeah, a lot of them are like really good Tekken players, and you know, the Pakistani community, right? Atif won Tekken World Tour last year in Tekken 7. Arslan Ash won the year like prior. Arslan Ash is a known Tekken champion for winning two Evo Tekken championships 2 times, right? And he also won Tekken World Tour. He is a celebrity mascot in the Pakistani Tekken community. But we saw in this Tekken Top 8 that, you know, they didn't do well, right? And we should like give them their best. That's like the thing. They're like, I saw like some tweets about, you know, some people bitching about Arslan Ash or like, you know, Atif, or just like in general, the Pakistani community. They don't want them in here. Like, bro, that's some fucking like degen shit. I don't like listening to that or like reading about like those tweets at all. It's just people bitching and complaining about like, you know, their own I feel inadequacies, right? If you can make it into Tekken like top 8 in like Evo, not just in like in a local, then come talk to me. Right? Like, again, Pakistani, for a very, as my mom would say, a very conservative country, you know? So there would not be a lot of like, you know, gaming communities in like Tekken. But the fact that like Arslan set that bar many moons ago in one Evo of Tekken, dude, now Tekken is like a force to be like reckoned with. Now Pakistani Tekken is like a force to be like reckoned with, equally as so as like Japan Tekken or Korea Tekken. Yeah, for those like bitching about like the Pakistani community, yeah, they did their best. This is just like one of like many tournaments that they're gonna be like entering, and this is gonna be like their livelihood. They may win Evo next year. They may win Tekken World Tour next year. They may win Brussels Challenge next year. Dude, it's not over for them, and you shouldn't be like bitching. They put their best effort forward. And Atif, right? Atif made it into second. This is like 2 times he made it into second. One was in Tekken World Tour. Look how like, you know, frustrated he is, right? This is like, you know, just general tournament sense. It sucks to be like second, because when you come in second, it's like you slouch so hard that you didn't like lock in. Yeah, like nerves are set on high, like in a high stakes tournament where like a giant ass trophy is on the line, and like, you know, thousands of dollars are on the line that you could like represent to your family and to your like, you know, country. It feels pretty shitty that you've come so close and yet so far. In the end, it didn't even matter. Sort of shit, like Linkin Park. So, but it was still like a good effort, right? Atif definitely felt that in Evo of this year and Tekken World Tour of this year, both coming in like second fiddle. You know how shitty like it feels? Alhamdulillah, he's a brave man that yeah, he got over it, and like, you know, it still stings, but it still is like, you know, sometimes you just have to like tough it out and like, you know, embrace like a new path for you, right? Something like that. Or embrace a new path, or just like look for the next door, right? It's like, yeah, like the Pakistani community definitely went up far. Maybe not for like this year, right? They still put their best foot forward. I definitely did. I definitely dug like the Pakistani community. I'm not gonna be upset if they like, you know, win all the time. Of course, I want them to like win all the time. That's like me being like, you know, a biased bitch. But you gotta just like step back a bit and feel like, yeah, you just gotta be modest and like, you know, show like empathy for them and show support. That, wow, they made it all the way this far in Tekken 8 top 8. Just show them like some love. Yeah, with Tekken like top 8 with like, you know, rank 2 winning, right? It sets the bar for like Tekken that like, yeah, it's gonna increase even more numbers for Tekken. Like back to like, you know, rank 2 and Kuma. it will set the bar forward that like, yeah, a bear can win. Anybody can win a high stakes tournament as long as you like practice hard enough. As long as you practice hard enough, you too can be up there at like Tekken and like defy expectations, shatter expectations, you know? All in all, it was a great tournament. Definitely like one of my most favorite tournaments. And Tekken, of course, is like a game that like, you know, instills like hype, right? Tekken 8 is like a game that like, you know, there's always like these like nerve-wracking, sweaty, well, not like sweaty as like, you know, players that played long enough, but like, you know, just, dude, that shit was, I'm sweating over here. I'm like concentrating and like things like that. And so, yeah, it was a good tournament. We just gotta show love and support for like, you know, the game, the esport, right? Even though like esport can be like 50-50 depending on like the person. Sometimes esports can kill a game, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it may even elevate. But that's a whole nother discussion altogether. But this top 8, this world tour, this tournament was pretty hype. I definitely dug it.